Hello, 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 friends. This is Nicholas. DIVO, TED Talks, Devoted Talks, taking ancient wisdom and knowledge and practice and translating it to a modern world to help end suffering for myself and others. I'm still working on it. I think it sounds good. So I am in a different background. I don't know how it's going to sound with echoes and background noise. I do have animals and I do have things running, so I'm going to try to noise cancel. But in case you do hear things, that's why. I do promise to eventually get a good microphone and whatnot so that it sounds a little bit more professional. But anyway, I wanted to record this, but I didn't want to leave the house just yet. I do need to go put up some new curtains, so I'll get into all that. But you know, uh, I was sad because I've been really looking forward to going to this conference in Nashville, and it's put on by this company that has been very instrumental in helping me learn systems and how to get set up in my business and do it well through their experience. And so uh, the universe just did not organize in a way that allowed me to easily and feasibly get there without a lot of stress and without a lot of angst and stress and worry. And so it seemed easier and more fruitful to stay home. And so I did. And it has been great. I have ordered things for the studio. I got stuff done around the studio. Like I got the floors waxed and they look amazing. I this curtain rod that I accidentally bought that I've been meaning to use for a long time, I actually took advantage of the project. And so I ordered the curtains. I didn't order enough, so I got the other order today. But it looks really good, and it actually looks how I imagined it would. And so, one, I had some reassurances about these translating what's in my head into the actual experience in the studio, as well as knowing that it was a good choice to stay here because what was right for the moment was to be in the business and work on the business because I haven't had a lot of time when I'm here and there's nothing going on. And so I'm always either working or thinking about working, and especially teaching classes. And so that's kind of what I'm going to talk about right now is classes are amazing and I love teaching them, but they are a different setting than getting stuff done in the business or being creative about the business and or selling the business. Teaching classes is a completely different state of mind and state of delivery. And yoga really talks about some of these things, right? There's the different states of consciousness, and I can't remember all of them off the top of my head right now, but one of the enlightened states is Turiya. And so, that ultimately is where we're headed, but isn't necessarily where we reside uh, fully, or, honestly, most of us don't spend a lot of time there, but it's a beautiful state and a beautiful place. But anyway, in these different states, you're capable of doing different things, much like in our thinking state, in our awake state versus our sleep state. Our brain has different types of waves that are measurable based on the technology that we have now. And yoga is a completely different technology. And so that's a whole nother can of worms that I won't open up. But your mode, your set and setting are all going to be influencing what you're capable of at any given moment, right? In psychology, we know about set and setting, but when we translate it to productivity, it has a new layer to it because somebody who is thinking and being creative or pondering or being creative is very different from each other, and especially from delivering something, right? Being in the moment, right? So me teaching an hour-long yoga class is a very creative space to be in, and it's a very connected space. But when I'm finished with that, I need to replenish myself and recover because of the nature of it being mind, body, spirit deliverable. And, where in your life are you not necessarily taking the appropriate breaks or uh, gear changes that you need to, because one, you don't have time, or two, because um, that's not necessarily the type of workforce or the work, that you do. And I get that, right? Like right now, I am the business owner, and I am the salesman, and I am the face of the business, and then I'm also the deliverable of the business. And that's a lot of things to be all at once, and you can't really be all of those all at once. Now, I say that um, with nuance, because it's more of a Venn diagram, and parts of you overlap with other parts of you, right? So, like when I'm giving the deliverables, there's a space where it blends with the sales guy. And then, business ownership does blend with the deliverables that I'm giving, right? If I don't deliver an experience that is worthwhile or beautiful or transformative, then I don't have people who want to return. And so you start to see where these things intersect. And many times we lose our power because we're not in a particular set or setting and trying to perform or deliver that action. And yoga, in all its glory, shows us that things are sequential and it's very step oriented, because humans are step oriented. And so, when you do this, then you do this. After you do this, then you move to that, right? There's 8 legs or 8 limbs to the yoga proper, right? The one that was derived or codified by Patanjali. And it takes you piece by piece to get to the state of samadhi, which is the ultimate state. Now, you can slip into any of these states at any point for any reason, naturally. But if you want to practice to get there from wherever you're at, you have to do it in this order and in this way, because that's what they discovered over centuries, if not millennia, of studying it and performing it and, connecting with this knowledge base. What does this mean for you? It means go easy on yourself. And remember that nothing except for life-threatening situations has to be completed today. We lead ourselves to believe that. We put ourselves into states of believing things are do or die. And in reality, most things aren't. And the problem is unless they are, but if they are, then that's a completely different energy and a completely different set from which you should be operating from. And you will, right? Like the emergency room doesn't operate like a medical center where they do general practice medicine, right? It's a completely different way of operating. And similarly, if you're in a do or die situation, you're in a completely different operating system, and you either rise to the occasion or you don't. But there are ways to progressively move to these different things, but it does take time sometimes, and it does take conscious effort or deliberation to get there. And so what are you doing to make sure that you have the space or the time or the right set or setting for you to achieve whatever it is you want to achieve? For me, recognizing that things weren't lining up very easily, and that I should just take the time that I was supposed to be away and use it to be productive for things that I don't have regularly the set or setting to do. All right, my friends, be well, be free.